What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day today. Not long ago, I made some beef jerky and a video, and I had several of you asked me how I made my beef jerky, and I want to share with you my secret recipe, as well as some creative ways to make your own beef jerky at home if you don't have a food dehydrator. Creating your own beef jerky can be very tedious. It can take a lot of time, but I'm going to give you the fastest and quickest ways possible to do it. It can be very rewarding though, because when you go to the store and you purchase beef jerky from the store, after you've eaten your own beef jerky, you won't want to eat store-bought beef jerky ever, because it's just not good enough in my opinion. One of the quickest and easiest ways to make your own beef jerky starts out with having it cut. And what I usually do is I go to the store and I purchase usually London broil meat, which is beef, of course. It's a good part of the beef. There's really not a whole lot of fat on it. You can get it in a big chunk and have your butcher cut it up in slices. I found this to be one of the easiest ways to prepare your beef jerky, because you can cut it up as thin as possible, and remember, the thicker the beef jerky, the longer it takes to make. My local butcher at my grocery store does this, and they do it for free. All you have to do is pay for the beef, of course. Make sure the butcher cuts it for you, because that can actually save you a lot of the time in making your beef jerky. I found this to be probably the hardest part, and it's much easier having them cut it than you. So imagine having to cut like 2 pounds of meat. That would suck. Now, the second most important part of the beef jerky process is marinating the meat, so then you can create a good flavor. A lot of what people use for beef jerky that's popular is soy sauce and also liquid smoke. I mixed it in with Worcestershire sauce and onion and garlic. I also add a little bit of this hickory smoke seasoning. If it kind of tastes like it's not as salty as it's going, you could put some of this on it and it'll give it a little bit more flavor. This is Melissa's favorite sauce, and this is just one sauce that I like to use. It's called Dale's Seasoning. I'm not sure if you can get it in your area. If I had to describe this in 2 words, I would say soy sauce and barbecue sauce. That's the mixture. In my opinion, it's always best. I mean, you don't really have to measure the sauce and stuff. Just use your best judgment, because you're gonna probably have more beef than sauce sometimes. So maybe don't do it like I do it. Like, I kind of threw the beef in there and then mixed the sauces in later, only because I know what to mix, what not. But if I were you, I would put the sauce in first. That way you can try it out, maybe use your finger. If it tastes a little too salty, add water. I am gonna do some beef jerky in my food dehydrator. You can actually get these online for 20 bucks. My local farm store actually had this. I think I paid $30 for it. You could probably check Target and Walmart too. They might have them as well. They're not very expensive. Now, the folks that maybe don't have a food dehydrator and you want to start making beef jerky today, this is how we're going to do it. Most everybody has a stove. You could probably do this in a conventional stove too. Don't do it in a microwave, okay? Don't do it in a microwave. Hey, another thing these are good for, I forgot to mention, is making potato chips. You could also make vegetable chips. Cut up some apples, make your own apple chips. It's pretty good. What I did is I got one of my racks, I covered it in aluminum foil, and I'm gonna try to duplicate one of these racks on the food dehydrator. We're gonna have to poke a couple holes in it though, so then some of the beef jerky juice drips down. We don't want it to like just stick with the juices, so we're gonna put a couple holes there. I also put a little bit of a drip pan. Don't laugh at it. I know it's like kind of sloppy looking, but you know, if this does kind of leak some beef jerky juices, at least it has somewhere to go. Some of it might go down there too, but you know, who cares? It's cool. Okay, 170 is the lowest it'll go, so that's cool. That's what we're gonna do. We're not trying to overcook something. We just want it to get kind of warm. Here's my marinated beef jerky. I've had it in the fridge for, I don't know, I'd have to say maybe 10 hours or so, which is plenty because this is really thin meat. Like I said, I'm gonna put some of this in the food dehydrator. Also have this Dale's Seasoning beef jerky, and we're gonna put that maybe on the right side, so we have 2 different kinds of flavors. that there for, I don't know, we'll check on it maybe 2.5 to 3 hours from now. Now you don't want to close your stove. I would say leave it about, maybe like that. I mean, you can leave it open like that too, but I say just to be safe, I would put something there like that. Perfect. And maybe even turn your vent fan on. We're about 2 hours into our beef jerky process. I want to show you what it's starting to look like, okay? Here is our dehydrator, which is doing pretty well. Sometimes I like to take these trays and during the process take the ones from the bottom and put them on top. I did that just a minute ago. Probably going to be done in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from now. I actually thought that the oven would be a lot quicker, but as you can see, they're kind of looking very similar. I would say they're about a half an hour behind the dehydrator. Luna wants to eat one, but it is working. It sort of looks like roast beef right now. We'll see how they look in 2 hours. And as you can see, that little drip pan is working and doing its job. When you start seeing your beef jerky and your stove looking kind of like it's done, you're gonna need to flip them over. These are not looking bad actually right here, but when they have that little bit of roast beef look, they're still not fully done. So we're gonna want to flip those over. And one thing that I did do also, and I did it to that one too, is I grabbed a little bit of my seasoning. Here's another seasoning I like to use, Smokehouse Apple. This gives it a nice sweet spicy taste. And just sprinkle a little bit on it too. Just a little extra flavor. We're not trying to make it too salty, but this will help. This little piece right here actually looks done. Let's do a taste test. Here, let you try some.
Great.
That's really good. It actually doesn't taste much different than when I do it in the food dehydrator. I just kind of figured out, this is kind of like, the inside of this is almost like a blow dryer. So it is using heat. It's not a lot of heat, but same thing. If you don't have a food dehydrator, you absolutely love beef jerky, and you want to make it quick, make it easy, use this. Use your stove. Just make sure that you do the hard part, and that's getting your butcher to cut the meat for you, because they have special tools, and you don't want to cut yourself in the process. So honestly, that's probably the hardest part about making beef jerky, and if you could take that out of the equation, you're good to go. All you gotta do is marinate and cook. Okay, we got some beef jerky that's finished already. You might ask the question, how do I know if the beef jerky is done? Well, it takes several times of checking on it and making sure, maybe touching it, spreading it apart. Some pieces might actually be done before others. I guess it depends on the thickness of the steak. But yeah, I already have half of the beef jerky from the oven done. Some of the ones that are in the food dehydrator are done. When it's dry like this, that's how you know it's done. There's not much of a difference in the dehydrated beef jerky to, you know, you could kind of see this looks dried too. We didn't really cook it. We did cook it, but it was a slow cook. I didn't tell you could have all that beef jerky though. No. This flavor is actually really good, by the way. It's almost better than my custom flavor. And this is the flavoring right here. I mean, we tried one a little bit earlier with that. It is excellent. Make sure you get the reduced sodium, because this on its own has quite a bit of salt. You don't want to overly salt your jerky. What? Let's get her a good piece here. I think that's a pretty good piece. And we'll let her try that. We'll let her try those two pieces right there. This is from the dehydrator. This is from the oven. In my opinion, the best beef jerky is not red. It's brown. If it's too red, I don't know. It's just, it's disgusting. That's how it is at the store.
It's taking forever.
I want you to try my jerky. Shut up, bro. Alright, try that one first. Let me know what you think. She's like, ew, it's disgusting.
Now you're disgusting.
Alright, try that one.
I like this one.
You like the oven jerky better? Oh, so there's a difference. They were both marinated exactly the same, but that's the oven jerky. She liked it, and I know for a fact that was the oven jerky. So there you go. That's how you make beef jerky in the oven. And I didn't even tell her which one to pick, and obviously I guess the oven jerky was a little bit better. Judging on time, I mean, I thought at first that the dehydrator was winning the time battle, but not really. I would say though, like, if you want to cook a ton of beef jerky, you might be better off using the food dehydrator. But I mean, if you're just doing some for like your family right then and there, and you're not trying to start like a beef jerky business or something, just do it in your oven, because it's convenient. You don't have to get a food dehydrator, and it still tastes great. So there you go. Let me know what you think. And by the way, if you do plan on making this beef jerky and you use my recipe, you better give me a freaking shout out. Just let me know. Let me know how it tastes too. Peace out. Give me a kiss.